If you living that life the way you live it, you can't live it no other way. I need you to put a bottle in the air right now. Welcome to the champagne life, where trouble is a bubble in the champagne glass. Dreams and reality are one and the same. Don't act like you don't know the name. And we gonna do it like this.
Welcome, Poww, to Champagne and Conversations. How are you?
Hey, I am wonderful, wonderful. Taking it easy, trying to.
Yes, that's what you have to do at these times, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nothing but.
I see you have a wall of fame there. You have a musical background going on. I love it.
I do. I'm just walking in the midst to kind of get the
showing
ambiance.
Off. You want us to really see.
Get the ambiance going, you know.
Well, listen, go close. Since you're getting ready to do the tour, ladies and gentlemen, we have Poww from UNV. And
Poww.
I'm sorry, Poww.
All good.
And we are so excited to have you here today to talk to us about everything love.
Everything love. Universal word.
Absolutely. So yes, take it away. Go back to your wall so we can check out what you have going on, all of the amazing things.
Oh, okay. Well, I just was giving you a little
Don't tease
glimpse,
us. What a good time.
Glimpse. Let me give you a little glimpse of some history. I mean, you know, here you got from when it all started. You got a little bit of everything. You got us with Eric Clapton, Nile Rodgers, King from Kiss. You got us back in the day, 1995, I think that was. Us with Teddy Pendergrass, God rest his soul. Us when we were on tour with Madonna, 100,000 strong in the audience. You know, just some history. Dionne Warwick, To the Extreme, the show with Jodeci. Just a little bit of everything. You know, I gotta, I had to memorialize some of the things that were on the wall. I mean, this is when we were #1 in the country. As you can see, we were knocking off Jodeci, To the Extreme, Tony Braxton, Silk, Tony, Brian McKnight, Vertical Hold, Intro. So just a lot of history.
This is Black History Month, and Jay is giving it to us today. Thank you so much. I love
Absolutely.
this. And I can't let you say just a little. I mean, this is a lot. You just named legend upon legend, legendary moments. Today is 2/22/22, which is super dope. And what you just showed us was just what it is all about. I love it. I love the
Absolutely.
fact that you had that time to spend with so many icons, so many legends. Your top 10, you were in that, and you said that you knocked Jodeci, which was a hot group during that era. The golden era is what we refer to it as. You all were killing it on the scene with, I'm gonna say, Something's Going On. It probably was a lot more, but Something's Going On was the jam back in the 90s.
Something's Going On was Something's Going On was definitely the jam. It was a song that I wrote while I was a senior in high school. Wow. Actually, just to give you a little history in that song. But the young lady who cheated on me, she's regretting it to this day.
Talk about it.
But I mean, it was one of those things where I was, in a zone, and when you're in those emotions, things just come out, and you just end up writing something like a conversation. And that's generally how I kind of started my whole writing formula, writing like a conversation. So Something's Going On was for a particular girl. She probably knows who she is to this day, but she wishing that she hadn't played me like she did.
You shouldn't have done it, young lady, because look. Look at what this is. So listen, I know that it's so much to talk about, and we want to just tap into what you just shared with us. Give us some of that energy. How did that feel being on the top 10 with a Jodeci, touring with Madonna, which I will say or ask you, I guess, Madonna was a lot of how you all formed as a group.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Let me give you a little backdrop. Okay, so this is us with Madonna.
Legendary picture.
That's me right there in the corner with the bald head. And then my brother, but you kind of get it. You know, we were signed to Maverick largely because of Detroit radio legend John Mason.
Okay.
Mason was our manager. And you know, we started out, we were three of us are from Lansing, and one from Cleveland. But the one from Cleveland, we went to Wilberforce University together. We went to Wilberforce. Shout out to WU, historical Black colleges. You know what I'm saying? But so we started out there singing, and then I brought the group back my first year home from college, and we were singing, just doing like talent shows. And I asked my brother, I had an opportunity to be on Natalie's Big Break. Remember, a lot of people won't remember that show, but back in the day, Natalie Cole had a show called Natalie's Big Break.
Okay.
And it was a national show, and we ended up doing the show, and we ended up losing the show to a dance group. But through that losing, just goes to show you never put away humble beginnings. But because we lost, a guy came behind us to show, who was Mason at the time, who we didn't know, and was like, "Hey man, y'all can blow. I don't know what these judges was listening to, but just like the 5 Heartbeats, if you give me a shot to help y'all out, maybe we can get something going." Okay. And so I was like, "All right, guys, what y'all think?" And we was like, "All right, let's try it." We had nothing to lose, so we stayed home a year from college during that time to try and get our group together. UNV was born. UNV was born.
And so it has been such an amazing, I guess, group, 90s group. Like I said, you all were trailblazers in the golden era. It stands for Universal Nubian Voices. Who came up with that and created the acronym?
That is actually, I came up with the group name 2NV in the beginning, because I had a group and my brother had a group called UNV when he was at Norfolk State in Virginia.
Yes.
And so, yeah, he was
Norfolk, yay!
Exactly. See, yeah, he was in Norfolk State, and he had a group called UNV, and I had a group called 2NV.
Okay.
And
you blended
my
them.
group name was just me being the big conceited guy back in the day. Look, to envy us, you know. And then when we brought my brother in the group, he was like, "Nah, man, we ain't doing that 2NV. We can do UNV." And I got a name that I think will be synonymous with our group, and he entitled it Universal Nubian Voices, and we've been Universal Nubian Voices ever since. Universal meaning we appeal to everyone, Nubian, strong Black togetherness, and voices which we consider we had in abundance. So,
and I'm going to take it on and just say thank you for that, because I am Champagne envy. So I'm just going to get on with you.
There we go. That's what's up. That's what's up.
I think that's so dope. So thank you for sharing the background to how you guys formed and how you came along. So story time. What was a major time just that you remember with the group being out on tour or even in the studio? Anything that you can share with us?
Well, one of the best memories I'll ever have was touring with Madonna, of course. And the very first time we did a show with her, we were at Wembley Stadium in London, England. And it was 100,000 people in the stadium. I mean, we had never done a show to that magnitude as of yet. The record we just found out the day of the concert that the record went #1 here in the States. And so we were extremely excited, of course, but the highlight of that show was before the show, everybody was so nervous. I was the only one in the group that didn't drink. Everybody else would, get their swerve on for a minute. I never drank, never smoked. That was just one of my things. I never was into that. I was always into money. So I that was my vice. I was the business guy in the group. So, but we were at that show. Everybody was so nervous. They were drinking and just everybody was trying to get our nerve up to get ready to go out in front of this 100,000 people. And then Madonna comes backstage before our show. And she says, "I got somebody I want you to meet." And we was like, okay, what's bigger than, here comes Michael Jackson.
Oh my God.
Walking in the back. And Michael comes in like, "Hey guys." And we was all like, we all like in awe, like this is Michael Jackson. I mean, sometimes when you look, we're three guys from Lansing, you know,
Sure.
from, I mean, and to not only be on a stage with Madonna, but to then turn around and meet Michael Jackson before we go on. You know,
Yes.
it was surreal. It was definitely surreal. And it was one of those moments where it was just like, you know, wow, you know, he was just like, look, calm down, take a breath, go out there and
Calm
just,
down.
yeah, he was like, just go out
Like
there and do
it's
what you do.
Michael.
Yep, just go out there and do what you do. Don't worry about anything. Block the people out and you'll be fine. And we was like, oh snap, Michael just gave us some advice, you know.
Right.
So before we did it, and then we went on, and the show was, you know, phenomenal. And you know, over there they have such an appreciation for
Yes.
R&B music that it's
Sure.
amazing. So
Mhm.
I mean, I just came back from over there a month ago. I was there doing a show by myself. But that just goes to show you, 20 years later, I'm still doing
Yeah.
shows based
Yeah.
on just R&B music. So it's really one of those things where
We lost your
you know,
face.
we're just blessed. Yeah, we're just blessed. Wait, you lost my
Absolutely.
face?
Yes.
Can't have that. Let's get my face back here.
No, we need your face back.
Right. Oh wait, you can hear me though, right?
I can. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have one, well, I guess the original member as well as creator of the group from the 90s, UNV, with us. And he is talking all things R&B. We're going to get into his solo projects very soon, but just the legendary moments that come along with the artistry. And then we need to just hear you. We just need to hear you now. Can you see me? Hear you? Can you hear me? You're talking, but we can't hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Oh, there you go.
Can
We
you
can
hear me
hear you,
now?
but now we need to see you.
Okay, so one more thing here. Let me see. What did I do wrong? All right, let's get back to where
Nothing
I
wrong.
was.
Nothing's going wrong.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we can hear you. We
We're
just
gonna get
can't
this.
see you.
All right, I'll
So
be
I think
back in
it's
here
probably
shortly.
just, I think you just tap the screen for your face to go away.
Did I? Okay, so let me go back
Yep.
in here. All right, can you see me now?
No, just hear you.
Oh, I am sleep.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
No, I
it's
don't
just
want to forward.
technology. That's all. And
It is, and I apologize. It's not her, it's me. I'm
no, it's
suspect,
fine. This is all just
but I'm gonna get it worked out
conversation,
here.
just sharing the energy and exciting times. Like I said, this is Love Month, or what we like to refer to it as Love Month. So, with that being said, we wanted to make certain that we celebrated um, the love that you are sharing with the group as well as your solo project. And we do appreciate the time that you are with us and giving us the Wall of Fame. And as I stated, UMV was heavily supported and founded by Jay as well as Madonna. And we have you back. Yes.
Good, good. Okay, my
There
bad.
you go. Now don't touch anything.
I ain't
Stay
touching
still.
nothing. Nothing. I'm not doing anything else from this point on.
Like I like to joke and say, don't talk, just listen. Don't do
That's it.
anything.
That's it. I'm good.
Sometimes you
Won't
just
touch
gotta give a
anything.
little demand. No. But anyway, thank you so much. But yes, all love. So you were speaking of just the amazing Michael and his just
Yeah,
I
just
guess
the
encouragement before you guys performed.
yeah, that was a very surreal moment. I mean, just to
Yes,
have the opportunity to meet Michael and just you know that kind of that advice is timeless. I mean, you know, you could almost say it was as real as when we did Madison Square Garden with Madonna. We got a chance to meet Prince. So two of my icons growing
yes,
up, having the opportunity to be able to meet both of them was just, you know, like I said,
got
just
it.
surreal. And,
Priceless.
you know, I'm just blessed to have had made some of the moves as an entertainer to still have something to show for it. You know, there's
Yes,
a lot of entertainers that came out in the 90s that haven't really done well after, you know, that little stench in the 90s. And so I've been blessed enough. God has been amazing throughout my career to keep me in position just to keep making love music and even transitioning that love into universal love of God's music. So little bit of both. It's an amazing journey, I tell you.
Absolutely. And now that you brought that, we cannot stay away from unconditional love. And that is your new project. I won't say your only solo project, but that is your new project. So please share with us. And it's amazing as we were waiting on you to come in. We were listening to that and love all the tracks on that. So let's talk about how you, like you said, you just kind of transitioned from the R&B love to the universal love, the unconditional love, still displaying the fact that it's everywhere. And let's talk about that project.
Well, the project is called Gosp Soul. So Gosp, like GOSP
Mm-hmm.
dash soul, because it's a mixture of R&B, which I call quality R&B, and still universal contemporary gospel. So the music, as you probably heard, is very contemporary, very urban.
Yes.
You might not even know that I'm singing about God until you hear a few key words,
You
and then it
don't.
kind of will draw you in.
Right. You
Um,
don't.
but that was the plan. Gospel Soul was designed to give those folks who might not necessarily like traditional R&B or like traditional gospel,
Well,
but still could get into the message of what I'm talking about, but
sure.
still have a music that will give them the head bobbing, the slow grooving, things that they still want to kind of get into. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds in that regard.
Yes.
And, I just felt like I'd evolved in my career to the point where um, it was time to give reverence to the one above for the blessings, the many blessings that he has given me. I mean, I am, a married man of 14 years with six beautiful
Congratulations.
children,
Yes.
3 boys,
Wow,
3
six.
girls.
Okay.
Yeah. A Brady bunch over here. I got a 23-year-old, a 22-year-old, two
Wow.
15s, and I had two sets of twins. So 15
Oh,
and
do you
17.
really?
Yeah. So
Are they
I'm, I'm,
boys or
I'm
girls?
3 boys, 3 girls. So
Wow.
I have 2 boys, twins, and a boy and a girl, twins.
That is
Yeah,
so cute.
I
Congrats.
guess. I
Oh,
guess.
yes.
Well,
Yes.
now they all on their way out, So my oldest two just moved
Yep.
out.
They are not on their way out. Let me tell you, I have a 19
Yeah, you're
here
right.
and
You're
he's
right.
not gone.
You're absolutely right. But I mean, I was hoping that we prepared them enough so that,
No.
they leaving out with good credit, little money in the bank,
Hmm.
their own little place. They should be able to handle their business. This is what I'm hoping. So
We made them rotten. They do not have the same functionality. I'm just giving you the details. That's just
yeah,
does
you're
not.
right. You're very right. You're very
We
right in
made
that
it
regard.
way too easy, way too comfortable. They're like, well, I mean, everything's good here. Why we need to do something different?
Exactly. And when I say 6 kids, there's not really big families like that anymore. 6 kids you don't really have anymore. So people like 6 kids. I know y'all all on top of each other. That's crazy. I'm like 6 kids. Fortunately, God provides. I have a house big enough where everybody had their own room. So
Right.
I didn't have to really worry about that. And it was just one of those things, once again, a blessing. But yeah, the younger generation, I'm pushing them out the nest. Just put it like that. They're gonna have to go. I'm teaching them responsibility because
Good luck with
they
that.
can't live under mommy and daddy for their whole life.
Good luck with
Not
that.
gonna happen.
Just gonna
But
say.
they all sing. They all
Okay.
sing.
All
So I
right.
got I got 2 rappers in the family. 2 of my sons rap, and the rest of them all sing. For like the last couple of years, we have led praise and worship at my church, so which
Okay.
is a beautiful thing. So
Do they
I'm
sing back
extremely.
up for you?
They sing. They don't really sing backup. I mean, they sing backup. We sing backup for each other because any one of them could lead at any time. So a lot of times
Nice.
it just depends on what we're doing. It might be me one day, and then it might be my daughters the other day. As I was passing by the
The
Wall of Fame,
legacy.
here is one of the. This is us.
Oh, the
We are
legacy.
the.
That is awesome. And
So we
and
are the
we're reading
power
it
of
backwards.
praise.
Power of praise. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I love it.
it's a beautiful
Okay,
thing.
that's the Fred Hammond part two, 2.0.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
love it. Yes, I see you have the, is that a V on the wall? That's another good symbol there. There we go. Yes, how about it?
Exactly.
How about it? So, your project, now you did have I guess an a project in between your time with UNV and then before you actually created your gospel soul project, you had a project in between, and what was the ideology of it? What were you fusing the two or introducing what you were about to do?
When you say project in between, was it the Savior Made project or the UNV
Yes,
project?
yes.
The Savior Made project was
Savior
my
Made, uh-huh.
first gospel album, complete gospel. So
Okay.
it was a complete gospel album. Actually, my biggest independent record to date. That record sold almost 86,000 units.
Nice.
So extremely blessed that, like I said, and I've been dropping independent music every year since I left, since the not really left because the group still sings, but I've been dropping independent music for about 12 years. So that was my
Okay.
first independent gospel album, and that's outsold anything I ever did R&B. So it was an amazing first gospel record. I'm so blessed to have the support that I was able to get, because many people said, hey man, if you switch over, you'll never be able to do anything else, or, they won't accept you over there. And, it's been very, very receptive. And quite candidly, the biggest thing has been other places abroad. Like my biggest records have been in Japan. That record sold 60% in Japan than it did here. So that was the first start off before I did my second album that kind of made the transition. And I mixed my R&B in there still. I just like to make sure I'm doing quality R&B. I want my kids to see the example that you don't have to be cussing and you don't have to be vulgar 100% to make a good quality record these days. So I try to just keep it moving in that vein. And then I think now I'll never go back to just 100% traditional R&B. I think I'll mix the two a little bit, but I always want to have that platform to allow to bring someone to Christ if I'm able to do that.
Because that's what it is. That's what it's about. Your purpose, and that just continues to expand, which is probably why your project did so much more than what people anticipated. Because what you
I
just
believe
said,
that.
purpose. Yes. Now, who were your musical influences growing up in college, and even as an adult?
Well, I mean, I think a couple of the biggest influences, if you remember the group, I was always the big voice singer at the end. Something's going on. The big voice, the guy that always
keep singing.
The guy that always brought it home. I was that guy. So I grew up listening to Gerald Levert, Teddy Pendergrass. When I felt like real singers didn't always sing all falsetto. Now, don't get me wrong, I love falsetto singers, but you remember that Johnny Gill growl, that big Gerald Levert, yes, oh, all that, that's those were my idols. Fred Hammond was a big idol for me.
Can you sing it?
Which song?
It doesn't matter.
You silly. The big something's going on. Yeah. Why can't we talk it over? Why can't we be together, baby? Oh, big stuff, not the pretty falsetto, but we still like to get our growl on from time to time. But those were some of my mentors, because they used to get, they would make when Teddy would say, take it off, women be like, woo. So I always wanted to have that effect when I would sing. So those were some of my, early influences. Teddy, I had a chance to meet him, as you saw in the picture. Like 2 years before he passed, I had an opportunity to sing at a show, and he was there at the show and got a chance to. He said, "Boy, you keep growling like that. You keep doing it." And I was like, I was so over the top when he said that. Same thing with Gerald. I had a chance to meet Gerald and get to know Gerald very well, because we were tour mates with the Rue Boys.
Yeah.
You remember the Joe Little and them from Cleveland?
I'm still trying to get Joey here.
Oh, I can get you Joe all day. That's a phone call away.
And he responds, but he just hasn't come yet. So we're like, Joey, what are you doing? Yes, but we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah. So one of our guys, Pete, is from Cleveland. So him and Joe went to high school together. So we all knew each other and we toured together. And so I got to know Gerald early. And subsequently, Gerald wrote a song for us that was supposed to be on our second album. And he passed during the time right before we were about to record it. It was like traumatic for me because, I wrote the song and I actually ended up recording it myself. Some years later, I got permission from Trevio Productions to actually use the song.
Okay.
And so I actually recorded it. I'm probably going to release it on one of my next projects. I just haven't done it yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming.
Oh, that's so dope. That is what they call quality R&B, right? That's what we need. Yes, that's
we
what
call
we
it
need.
Cadillac music.
Oh, that's the pimping.
Cadillacs was made quality. Everything in the Cadillac was always, quality. So we say our music would be Cadillac music. Not today's. I got some artists I like today, but you know how that goes.
Okay, so let's say who do you like to listen to now today?
Wow, that's a good
one. Any big voices? Do you have any?
It's not really many big voices anymore.
Not a lot of big voices.
It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like people that are still singing that are in my genre. Still, I like Eric Robeson. I like Anthony Hamilton. But I'm mentioning all people that are kind of still in that vein.
Not in today. We call that where we are, right? Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me see who's young that I like. I like Travis Scott a little. So I like some of the stuff Travis Scott does. I like, don't get me wrong. I even like some Chris Brown stuff when he sticks to the singing, because he's super talented for everything else, the dancing and everything. But, I like some of the young stuff. I like to continue to listen to it so I stay current. So I keep my ear to the radio a little bit so I can hear what's going on.
I know, and there are a few artists, and I probably need to do better at it also because there are a few that pop up that you listen to, and you're like, oh, who's that? Who's that? And even as we're sitting here talking, I'm trying to think of some of those that I've heard that have nice, nice
there's
songs.
a lot of new folks that I just don't know their names, but I know the song, and now so much.
Lucky Day did a nice job doing Music Soul Child's remix. I like that.
Yeah, I like a lot of that. And I actually have, what's crazy is I have a young guy that is about to remake Something's Going On.
Oh, wow.
And so, he's out of France, but he almost looks like he's Spanish and he doesn't speak a lick of English, but he can sing his butt off in English. I know that sounds crazy, but you know how Japanese people, when they do karaoke, they can sing our songs like their songs, but they can't speak English. That's how he is. And so I'm hoping that RCA will go get behind him. And I'm actually slated to go fly out and go produce the record and see what happens. So, I'm looking forward to that.
That's going to be great energy. He's getting one of the originals to be able to be there to support it. Normally they produce it or they sing it and then they wait for you to find out about it. So that's amazing to be able
they had to ask permission.
Okay.
So when they asked permission, I made that one of the requirements. Yeah, you can do it. I need y'all to bring me out.
You need to be there.
Just let me be a fly on the wall or put a little touch here, a little touch there. Because y'all got to represent.
Are you going to sing with him?
No, I may do. He asked me if I would put that texture sound of our backgrounds. Because, we had that big Winans commission type, those backgrounds that, everybody kind of knew us for. So I may do something like that just to keep that signature in there so people will still know that, somebody in that group had a hand in that,
Yes.
For sure.
That's so cool. Now, tour-wise, who were you out on tour with when you all went out as the group UNV?
Oh my gosh, who didn't we go out on road with? Of course, every group that was a 90s group that had popularity, we toured with. Everybody from Jodeci to Boyz II Men to Intro to Silk to Shy to The Extreme to Joe to Rude Boys to Levert, Albie Shore, Brian McKnight. The list goes on. I could go on and on, but those core 90s groups, we spent a lot of time out with H-Town, all those groups, that was the classic days. Oh, it's some stories for sure.
Okay, give us a good one.
Let me give you one good one. Let me see. We were in Dubai.
This getting good
We
already.
we were in Dubai. We were getting
Okay.
ready to. It was us, Silk, um, To the Extreme, and I want to say Jodeci. I think it was Jodeci on that show. So everybody was worried about who was going to go on first and who was going to go on last. Now, of course, at the time, Jodeci was on their second album. We were on our first album, but at that time, we had the #1 record in the country behind, and Jodeci was #2 with Lately. So we didn't, we never sneezed about who went first because we felt like if you go behind us, you better be ready to go to
Good
town
luck.
because we gonna sing. We ain't gonna sing, we gonna sing.
Dang.
So it was one of those things where we ended up getting to go on before we went. It was To the Extreme went first, Silk went second, and then us, and then Jodeci. And so Jodeci went, or Silk went on before us, and they were kind of salty in the beginning that they had to go on after us or before us. So when we were about to go on, they had one of their little homeboys mess with our mics before once we got, it was a lot of little stuff like that on the road. But once we hit the stage, and then 2 seconds into the song, all of our mics went out. So we're singing, the music's playing, but there's no vocals coming out. And the crowd is looking like, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We looking over. They on this side of the stage laughing. They guys on the soundboard. So finally, they ended up getting it right, taking care of it, getting it together. And we thought we was going to end up having to fight after the show because we was so mad.
Did you all discover during sound check or actually you all performed?
No, we were on stage. We were
Oh,
performing.
no.
We were performing.
Terrible.
Luckily, it was only a few seconds, so it wasn't really a long time, and we got it back under control.
Right.
And then we called them out on in the show. Like, that was probably our boy Silk out there messing around. We apologize for that. They probably a little jealous because they know we about to tear it up. Blah blah blah. So we all got a kick out of it. And then from that show on, we had all really gotten really cool after that, and we didn't really have any more issues. So it was cool. Almost got in a fight with Dalvin from Jodeci in New York because he thought that my brother, who was the sex symbol of our group, my brother Sean, was messing with his girlfriend. So it was you have all the little stuff like that on the road, and at the time that was chilly.
Okay.
So it was a whole bunch of little stuff like that.
That is so cool. And we grew up, of course, on that music, loved that music. So that's why we thought that it was just such an exciting time. Like I said, this being Love Month, it should be Love Month every month. But just, of
Absolutely.
course, as we focus on it this month, and Black History Month, and all of the great things that, come along with us as a culture, that, just to celebrate your catalog, to celebrate the energy, the vibe, to know the music still reigns at this day and this time. When we turn it on, you turn it up loud, you sing over it. You don't care if it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound right, but it just feels good. And just in speaking that, as we say that your group did that for us, who did that have? What groups were you listening to that you felt that way? Was it like a
we were
Teddy
listening
or
to in the beginning, we were listening to Commission. We were listening to the Winans. From an R&B standpoint, groups that kind of came out like right before us, like Jodeci came out a couple years before us. So, we used to sing, Baby, won't you just stay, at all the shows before we got on. So we used to sing some of their stuff. We used to sing, remember the group Today? Remember Big Bub?
Oh my gosh.
Big Bub. I just talked to him.
Yes, we just talked about Big Bub. I need Big Bub too.
Big
We
Bub.
just talked about him because we had right before you Herb Middleton and Telling Me Stories, big song. And we just shared that. So Big Bub, shout out to Big Bub. But
shout out to Big Bub.
Mhm.
Let me see who else. Group wise, we were of course listening to the classics, the Earth, Wind and Fires, the Ready for the Worlds. These were groups that were iconic back then, that were that deal. Speaking of that deal, the deal, Babyface and all them.
Right.
So groups like that, because we were big, of course, on harmony. You know,
Yeah.
we were big on every member in the group could lead.
Did you all
So
like DeBarge?
we did, of course. How could I forget DeBarge?
Yeah.
Yes, had a chance to spend some time with them early in our career as well.
Yeah.
So especially L, because we were all on
Oh
Warner
my
Brothers
gosh,
together.
love L.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were all on Warner Brothers together, and we had a chance to meet them for the first time at Warner Brothers in Burbank, California, when I first met him. Shout out to Ife Kiera, who was doing artist development at the time. When they used to have artist
I was
development,
gonna say, how about it,
they don't
right?
have
They
that
need
anymore. They don't have that anymore. But yeah, so those were a lot of the groups that we would listen to and mimic, sing their songs. And, you know, I mean, my brother and I, we came from a singing family. So
yeah.
we'd get together on holidays and it would be like one big concert. My mother and 6 other siblings would blow. I'm talking about harmony out of this world, kind of where we picked it up. So a lot of those groups were, you know, definitely instrumental in doing what we do.
Yes, great times, right? Great times, great stages that you were able to share. Obviously, those positive moments that you received from the iconics, or what we know is just those that we will love forever, like you said, the Michael Jackson and the
Oh,
Prince. And
yeah.
now, how was it working with Madonna? Did you all actually have like studio time with Madonna or sit down conversations and any of that? How was that?
Nah, you know, quite honestly, the good thing about Maverick at the time is they let us be us. At the time, I was doing probably 90% of the writing. I probably wrote probably about every song on the first album except for maybe 2. Second album, we started having label conflicts because Madonna would let us do us. And I think that was the link that made us who we were. When you
Yeah,
go to try to change someone out of their element, you know, at the time we were 4 guys living in Detroit. How y'all gonna try to make us be all for one? Not no knock against
insane.
all for one, but you know, we
Right,
sing R&B. You know, we don't
right.
sing pop music, but we
Sure.
got put in that pigeonhole,
In
you
the
know, a little
box.
bit. So
Uh-huh.
Madonna stayed out of the loop. She let us do our thing. She would come in and just say, be yourself, you know, don't let anybody compromise your sound, even though the label side of it tried to, but she was pretty much hands off when it came to that, you know. And at the time they were launching the artist also Alanis Morissette. So, you know, you got to think we got kind of lost in the shuffle
That was big.
once
Yeah.
she dropped and she was doing 1 million records a week, you know. So
Atlantis is dope.
we got lost in the shuffle just a little bit. But I mean,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it was all good. You know, it was all good,
absolutely. A great
you know.
experience, if nothing more. Um,
Absolutely.
to be able to, like you say, and still thriving even after those experiences, because like some groups do not make it out of that.
Yeah.
They fall victim to whatever the label suggests. They don't meet the expectations and they get shelved. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's like, what they call those one hit wonders or what have you. So thank God that you guys were able to pivot through that, which is definitely why we love to talk to you all, because you understand pivoting, moving through adversities and such, and still staying creative, still being able to manage your craft and the art,
Mhm.
and keeping it still so swagged. Because I mean, I don't know what it is with us, but we just don't age, right? It just
Hey,
gets better.
that's what it is. That's what they say. I mean, you
That's what
know,
they say.
trying to keep it young, but you got to do it. I mean, I'm at the stage and age that I embrace um, who I am in my age
Yeah.
and doing what I do. And you know, when it comes down to it, I look at it like this. Like you said, a lot of artists were not blessed enough to be able to consistently. And don't get me wrong, UNV after our third album, everybody kind of went their own separate ways in a sense. And it took me until probably maybe 5 years ago, I pulled the group back together after a hiatus of about 15 years and recorded a best of album and added some new songs. And
Okay.
but by that time I was a label owner. So we didn't have to deal with how we
Right.
negotiate with a major. I own the masters. I went back and bought the masters from Warner Brothers back in 2010 when I started my label. So, you know, a lot of things this business, it comes down to the
Congratulations
business.
to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
And
did
I'm
understand
blessed.
the assignment.
Yeah. Very, very. I'm
Yes.
blessed to have the opportunity to have done that. I mean, I was really blessed to have, when I started my label, Dan Gilbert, I'm sure Quicken Loans, Dan Gilbert, Rocket, Dan Gilbert was one of the first general investors to invest in my company. So it was one of the best things that I could have did in the beginning, is to go back and buy those masters, because even though the group is not necessarily together completely, totally now, we get together to do shows sporadically, but I own the masters. And because I wrote the majority of that, those checks still come. So that's a beautiful thing,
Beautiful thing.
even 20
Keep
years
those
later.
six kids home even longer. I told you they're there forever.
No, that ain't stopping that movement. No,
They're
but I
there
mean,
forever.
it has helped provide. So I'm thankful for that. So I'm not definitely,
Absolutely.
no bones
Absolutely.
about it. But I
What
mean,
new do
that was
you all
one of
have
the
coming out?
you
The
said, what do
group.
we have? What do I have coming up?
The group. Do you
Well,
all have tours set for the group?
well, we're actually, we talked actually a little bit last week, because we're going to do a show in Hawaii in July that we just
Oh,
got booked on.
nice.
We get together once in a while now. It's not
Okay.
as much as it used to be, because everybody's doing their own thing. And I understand that and respect that. When things happen, I pretty much choreograph, get everybody back together. Hey, listen, guys, because I still tour pretty frequently. Music for me, more so abroad than in the States, but still doing some shows here. I'm, like I said, I just got back from London a couple months ago. I still do a lot of shows. So when people ask and make the request for the full group, I make it happen.
Yeah.
Just like the Hawaii thing, it was a show situation where it was for me to go and do a show, but I felt like, listen, we had a big hit, a couple of really big hits over there that were really pop that most people over here wouldn't even know. But I was like, look, if I can get the group back over, that's twice the money. So let me make that call and put that together. So, all that kind of thing we still do, we still make happen. And I'm just continuing to, take projects as they come. But I mean, I always tell entertainers and artists, listen, don't let music make you a starving artist, because sometimes people get it twisted. And even these young folks today, they think, oh, if I get a hit record, I'll be famous forever. And that money will last and last and last. And I'll be the perfect example to say, listen, don't get me wrong. It can be good in the beginning, but you better have a great pivot plan to be able to negotiate and navigate these waters of this industry, or just any other business as a whole, to make it happen, or you will be broke, come 5-10 years later. Because most folks just don't spend their money wisely. I was
I was going to
blessed
say,
enough.
especially the way the young people spend their money is way
Yeah,
different than what you're sharing.
exactly. And don't get me wrong, I like nice things,
Right. We all do.
but
And not in
but at the
moderation.
same time, but at the same
And in
time,
the pandemic, let's be
right,
clear.
exactly. But at
Certain
the
things
same
don't matter anymore.
You're right. You're so right. So at the end of the day, I'm just like, listen, stack your chips, be
Right.
smart enough to know the business, know the ins and outs of how the business works. Make sure if you can't read a contract, you have somebody that can, and understand that's the only way you'll have longevity in this business. And I credit a mentor of mine, an early on mentor of mine, Johnny Aldo and Kenneth Creer, who were my business managers at the time. Kenneth Creer manages Tony Braxton, Kim, Christina Aguilera. He at the time when he met me, he was a guy following behind me, going to shows, coming out, just saying, Jay, can I roll? Can I roll? Now he's huge, and I have to take him and make an appointment to get him on the phone.
Oh, wow. And remind him, hey, dude.
Right. I will let him know sometimes when he gets too
That's
big for
right.
his britches. Like,
That's
hey,
right.
Kenneth, look, don't get it twisted now. Remember, from whence you've come. But no, he's still a great guy. Still does some wonderful things. He's doing some amazing things, even with Kim and everything else. So,
Oh, Kim, I love Kim. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. He as a performer, and I began to become a fan from watching Kim perform. The
Now I
music.
got a funny story. I got a funny story about Kim that you
Okay.
probably won't believe. So when we first came here from Lansing, we were with a production company called Pinpoint Productions. A guy by the name of John Penn, who lived off 5 Mile down the street from Redford, right around the corner street from Redford. We would come to this little house studio. And when we got there for the first time, there was this guy in the basement, little scrawny guy in the basement. We used to call him Little Ethiopian. We used to mess with him. We used to tease him. Sounded like Al Jarreau. We used to tease him all the time, messing around. Later on, it became, of course, Kim before he blew up, we had all gotten cool, and Kim was doing his thing. We just happened to get a deal first. But I mean, Kim will tell you, we used to take his food out, eat his food out the refrigerator. He used to be mad at us. Them damn UNV guys coming tonight again.
Oh
Dang
my
it.
gosh.
So we had many a times where people don't even know. We were all very close, a very close-knit group of family who all got deals during that time, just some later than others. And Kim was one of those. Kim came out significantly later than we did, but great for him. But he did a wonderful job, and look at him now, flourishing and excelling, doing well, getting ready to go on tour with Babyface. Shout out to Kim. Hey, holla at your boys, UNV. Give us a shout.
Yeah, I was
Put us back on that
you
tour.
all need to go.
Right.
That's right.
But
shout out to Kim.
Great guy.
Oh, amazing. That is great. And now solo projects. You have anything planned for your tours?
Well, I am getting ready to do some things. Well, 16 countries. I'm going to 16 different countries over the next 9 months.
Wow.
Starting back again in London, then going to Spain. I'm going to do the UK first, and then I'm going to I'm going to Japan. I'm going to Australia, and then I'm going to Africa. And it's basically all on my gospel soul. So this is my new project. And you'd be amazed. People think, man, you sing the gospel now? I'm singing God's music now. And God's music is universal, whether that be R&B, love songs, or whatever the case may be. So I don't put myself in a category. I just say it's music all the same. And it's love music all the same. And since God created love, it's all in the same fold. So that's the plan. And we're just, building up our social media and doing what we're doing. I've got a few different businesses that I run outside of music. I run a seat company. I started a seat company about a year ago that makes seats for motorcycles. It's doing really well. I also, account executive with Rocket Mortgage. I do a little bit of everything. You have to be a Renaissance man in this day and age of trying to stay relevant and making money. I will never be a starving artist again, simply because I just know the business, but I also know that what it takes to be relevant. People say, hey man, when you going to retire? I said, I'm not going to retire. I do what I do.
I got breath and life.
Right. I'm going to keep on doing what I do. And when you're doing it when you do things that are your own, or you have some ownership in, you just enjoy it that much better. That's what makes it that much better.
Absolutely. What an amazing conversation. Great energy. It's been awesome to spend an hour talking with you. I need you to share your social media, share with everyone where they can find your music, and just follow for your tours. In case anyone's going to Hawaii, please call us because I would like to go as well. I love Hawaii.
Michelle, Waikiki.
I would love to do a champagne and conversations. Oh my gosh. I would love to do champagne and conversations with the group in Hawaii. Lord. Listen,
we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray on that.
Follow me now.
We're gonna pray on that one, so you can make that
happen. Lord.
Well, my social media, of course, my Facebook is just John Poww, but it's John Poww, Poww. John, of course, is my real business name, so everybody calls me J Poww, but John is my real name. So my Facebook is John Poww. My Instagram is J Poww of UNV, and that's all one word, JPOWW of UNV. My Twitter is the same. And then I have, of course, a website, which is jpowmusic.com. And I think that's all of my social media. Do I have anything else? LinkedIn. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
Your new project is called?
My new project is called Gospel Soul. So Gospel
and they can find that everywhere on the streaming.
And they can find that on all digital outlets, Spotify, TuneCore, anywhere you can buy digital music, you can buy my music. You can also go to the website if you still want a physical copy of the CD. I know a lot of people in the States don't do that anymore, but abroad they still buy CDs like clockwork. So I still press up at least, I still press up at least 5,000 pieces of vinyl and CDs. So, but of course there's a digital download. So the website has it all. There's also a best of UNV called Timeless on my website as well. It's also on all digital platforms as well. So definitely, if you're out there and you're listening, and you're still looking for that quality sound, you can go on any digital outlet. You can Google J Poww and now a million things will come up. Please support. We appreciate you. Sow a seed. God bless for sure.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, an amazing evening on 2/22/22 with Jay Powell. And we definitely look forward to your new music, the group touring, all of the amazing things that you guys have going on. Much love and success to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. And we
No,
look
thank
forward to
you. Let
seeing
me
you
make sure I
soon.
thank you for having me. No question about it. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
It's not,
you.
it's not, it's not all the time that you 25 years in the business, still doing what you're doing, and you still get the opportunity to jump on with someone like yourself. So I appreciate you and all your staff that's helping you make it happen as well. God
Thank
bless and
you
much
so
success
much. Thank
for
you so
sure.
much. Hang with us just a second. We'll take you out of here. Thank you.
No question.
Closer than close, closer than most. I wanna be closer to you. That's what I want. I wanna be closer to you. So many times I make excuses, not playing my part. But even though deep down inside, should have been brave